so close to escaping.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those Godwoken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Not a moment longer than we have to, but we're at something of an impasse. The ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
This is barbarous magic.
Expedient magic, actually. The ship is made of live wood. It has the spirit of an elven ancestor tree within it. It seems Dallas has found a way to bind that spirit to her. That means only she can control it. Unless we can find a way to break the bond.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They're kind of like to feel useful, don't they? Hopefully, you'll never have to find out.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? I won't let the Fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. The Seekers were once part of the Order, my friend. When Lucian died, we waited. Yet Alexander never rose to divinity. And then we started to find more like him. More Godwoken. And we weren't the only ones looking. A killer had marked them too. The Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not exactly a Seeker. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siva's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart.
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. That's all I have to say on the matter. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken. May the Fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes. Keep Lucian... May the Fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes. Keep Lucy.
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwoken. We are searching every corner of it for anything that might help us. I won't be able to breathe. I won't be...
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better. Our entire mission will have been for nothing.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't you say? Off we go, then. Quite right. Do seek. Why, sail for the mainland, of course.
Are you certain you want to...
Your loss.
There you are. I was just thinking of you. One too few, actually. Alexander. He's alive. He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Far from Dallas, at least. She had his ear bent so sharp it could have broken off. Oh, the usual drill. Pins and hooks and matches and all that. Most of the Godwoken are dead. We've got to find out who's been hunting them, haven't we? My money's on the Godspawn. This is Dallas's ship, but she can't have been the only one who could get it moving. It'd be too risky. And Dallas is anything but careless. There's a way to move this ship on board, I'm sure of it. You'd be surprised. A ship like this holds many secrets. Hopefully you can discover some these seekers might have missed. The figurehead has certainly caused a commotion lately. But then again, so have the doors downstairs. Everywhere you look, a hunk of wood looking to incinerate or stymie you. Dying to hear them.
Her face crumples into a mask of concern. Her eyes are large and soulless.
Why, because I care, of course. You are so very, very welcome. Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights. Meister Siva can help you do just that. A place called Driftwood hosts to putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable. There you are. This is Dallas. There's a way to move this beast. The figurehead is set dying to hear them.
Her face crumples.
Why? Because I care, of course. A bit early in our relationship to question my motives.
Farewell, Mattis. You did the Seekers proud.
Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. That's right, Godwoken. Another Seeker is dead, so you might live long enough to face your destiny. I hope Malady is right about you.
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment. Nothing. The ship is live wood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
She sighs.
I know. Just be careful. Sindelius, pray to you for my Seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation.
I remember this one. His name was Kerben. His friend's sword couldn't save him, it would appear.
To find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again. Did you hear? We're bringing you to Meister Siva, the head of the Seekers. If...
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... From the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work. I was just getting used... Ready. We'd probably get tired of this view soon enough anyway. It's good to be on the open. Set sail for Driftwood, I reckon. From there, we can track down my old pack and find out who's behind the contracts to kill Godwoken.
He grunts approvingly. Side by side, you stare together at the wave-dashed horizon. The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares at you straight in the eyes. She seems eager for you to say something. As you approach, the silent monk puffs a bit of air. The silent monk leans from... The silent monk cocks his right ear towards you.
How you doing? You creatures with your legs and arms and your opposable thumbs. You always want to steer the ship. You need to trust the ship. It knows what it's doing. It dances to the tune. It goes... la 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 la... or something like that. It's pretty catchy, but I can't remember how it goes. Good thing Dallas had that book, eh? Oh, she opened it and looked at the marks on the inside. How the hell else? All right. Go to the nose bit of the ship, open the book, look at the markings inside it, sing the song. That's it. Get it right and the ship will dance to your tune. Get it wrong and the ship will kill you. That's always entertaining. For me, anyway. Yeah. Have you creatures with your legs and arms and your opposable... It goes in your hands. This is generally accepted amongst creatures like yourself. Opposable thumbs. Remember? All right. That's always it for me, anyway.
It's good to be on the
He grunts.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Now, onward!
Malady says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home! Malady...
All that fighting will be worth less than nothing if we can't get this tub moving. Still found nothing. Wish I had half a clue what I was looking for.
Now is not the time for a bath.
I must say, you may not be an Eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. You handled yourself well. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Livewood? You have taken a dead elf and carved it into a pleasure yacht? I knew you people were barbarians. I had no idea you were sadists, too. Well, no matter. Whatever gets me to Reaper's Coast quickly. I have an excavation site to explore. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. They simply asked me what I was doing there, and I simply told them to be gone from my lands. I may have used the phrase pathetic mortals. Come to think of it, I may have used it several times. Damn fools. The faster we leave them behind, the happier I shall be. Is that so? Perhaps we could find an arrangement that benefits us both. I need to travel to the Black Pit's oil field, near Reaper's Coast. But my attempts at staying under the cover have not gone well to date. Given how well you handled yourself in Fort Joy, I rather think you could be of use. And I am certainly useful to you. So, how about it? I travel with you and aid you in your various chores and tasks, while you help me to remain incognito. Really? Really? Better off alone than with... Oh. Very well. There's no accounting for taste, I suppose. Or sense. Is this level of uncertainty common amongst your kind? You want me to walk with you. You decide you do not, and now you are reconsidering it once more? I am almost certain this is known as flirting. I have read about it quite extensively. There's no accounting... Is this level of... You want me to walk... I am almost certain this is known... Very well. Let's be off.
How can one be seasick when one has no stomach? This is heinously unfair.
Set sail, for the love of all things, set sail. The sooner I am off this carved monstrosity, the better.
Are you certain you want to...
Yes, I can Go on then.
Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't. Do you hear that?
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help.
I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too, as long as there's gold in it for them. So, what'll it be? Fast hands and faster wits, is that it? Tell me more and I'll see you get just what you're after. A lot of choice, I know. I've plenty of... So, what'll it...
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the Bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. We're a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now.
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing.
She cocks her head and looks at you for a long moment. Her eyes are dull and dark, more sunken than they used to be.
Nice to have met you too. You're on your way then? Sure. Can't say I blame you. Take care, Chief. Still knocking around. Wonder how far we are from shore. This whole Meister business sounds pretty exciting.
She cocks her head.
Nice to have met. You're on your way then? The old band back together again, I guess that depends, doesn't it? Look at me. Hard. What do you see?
Losa leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
I ought to chain you up like your lot did to me.
Exactly. Exactly. I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. I can hear its thoughts. It isn't out for blood. It's out for pain. Domination. Total domination. I was wrong to think I could hold it off. I might hurt you. I might hurt anyone. Could you stop me? Really stop me, if it came to that? Promise? Well, all right then.
She pinches your cheek, a sparkle in her dim grey eyes.
I knew I could count on you to murder me in a pinch. Let's go, Chief.
My bar suits you, murdering scum.
Pretty nice ship, eh? Captain Losa. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? I had a little chit-chat with Malady earlier. She told me I need to find someone to, exercise the thing in my noggin. Apparently, I'll be able to find him near Driftwood, where we're heading. Exciting! Depends which one. Most of them seem a little too earnest for my taste. But Malady, she's my kind of girl. In any case, it looks like they're probably going to help me find out whatever's leeching off my magnificent brain. So I'm not too pressed about being in the same boat. Ha, the same boat. Sure thing, Chief. What's up? Sure thing, Chief. What's up? Pretty nice ship, eh? Captain...
Are you certain you want to...
Oh, really?
Behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
Can't you say anything else? Bloody Magisters.
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we continue our journey together?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side. For the moment.
Speak if you wish to. What use Fort Joy had has been spent. New hunting grounds wait across the sea, so by all means, let us sail. Home? There's no such thing. I hail from the land that was, the Kingdom of Fog, the grave of Divinity. If ever I had a home, it has long since gone up in the smoke of death fog, along with so many elves. So, no home, except everywhere. Really? The world is mine. It's mine because I say it is.
She looks at you, expectantly.
Yes. You may bow before the Queen of the World. We, the Queen of the World, smile upon thee with favor. We dub thee Knight of the Needle. Arise, good lady, and wear your title proudly.
She takes you by the hands and laughs heartily as you stand up.
How kind of you to play along. We won't forget. Ha! People will enslave anything these days. At least back in my day, they had the elegance to opt for an elf. Your eyes brim with inquiry, so...
The armor set is complete.
type of companion you need, I can provide.
What's this? I found something.
If it were...
The Seeker has removed one of her...
You must be starved for company to link.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. There's a shift in the Magister's expression, a flicker of doubt. Then...
I'm a good Magister, loyal. But Dallas, something about her has changed. She's toying with dark magic, like a common sorcerer. She used to sing to the ship. It let her control it. She had this old book of hymns and incantations. It was only ever in her hands, or else locked away in her cabin at the stern. That's all I know.
The Magister
If you ever find yourself face to face with Magisters, you tell them I was tortured. I didn't betray the cause, not until I was near death. Understand?
Whatever that Magister told you, good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold. All right then, just... I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
The Magister leans in.
If you ever... Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the Divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Ifan grabs you by the sleeve, not hard, but insistent.
Let me work on him. I've got questions that need answers. Answers I can only get from him.
Ifan approaches Alexander, who lies flat on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, Alexander's eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Ifan grabs him by the jaw and shakes, violently. Alexander's face contorts with agony and his eyes flutter, yet he doesn't return to consciousness.
Why did you trigger the death fog before the elves had a chance to escape? Why? Why?
No matter how loud Ifan shouts his questions, there is no response from the unconscious Alexander. He reaches his arm back, and you realize he intends to punch Alexander in the face. Ivan's fist connects with Alexander's cheekbone, and you hear the stomach-curdling crack of bone. Blood streams from Alexander's nose, yet he stirs not at all. Without a word, Ifan strides away. Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch.
Magister
Bishop
Ran.
Alexander lies the bishop's white bruises. Someone has wiped.
The bell can't be unrung.
The Magister
If you ever...
Whatever that Magister... Hope you find something useful. You spoke, didn't you? Ha! I knew you would eventually.
It's good to be on the open seas again. Yes, but if he's God-woken like us, maybe for now, just maybe, it's good fortune that he's still breathing. The lone wolves were tasked with killing God-woken. So if we want to find out who's hunting us, we'll need to track down my old pack to get some answers. Suit yourself. This is a friendship of convenience after all. We'll just stick together, as long as it's useful to both of us.
He grunts approvingly.
It's good to be on the open.
He grunts.
Magister Ran, Caucus mate. Too late for that now, Red.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A six-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears, then. The door is still unmarked. The thud of your fist upon the wood resonates deeper than you'd expected it to. It turns into what sounds like a moan. Then the door is still unmarked, though the memory of the face, the anguished face, appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. The anguished face... The door is still... The door remains closed. The door is still unmarked. The anguished face appears once more. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
I hope you found something or some...
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if I was a Magister holdout? That infernal Dallas woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape. It seems I'm in your debt. Dallas took a particular interest in me and my skills. I'm an expert in healing, crafting, and more arcane practices. She kept me here to do her bidding, until you took her flagship from right under her nose, it seems. Oh, yes. And she could be a most cruel mistress, I'm sad to report.
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Oh, cast spells, tinker with relics, meddle with the laws of nature. All the sorts of things power-hungry despots love to do. She had me enchanted dead cat over there, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. Trust me, Convenient is the last word I'd use to describe the experience. Pass me that copper wire there, would you?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back, above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? I'm more than a sum of my parts friend indeed. But I fear you might have come to the wrong calculation about me. How about you just let this matter rest?
The Seekers are too trusting by half. We can't just let this healer go free.
I'm not perfect myself. It isn't for me to judge this one.
Anyone who faced enslavement deserves our sympathy, not our blades. Leave him.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. I must admit, despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire her a little. The woman is unwavering. She will break before she bends. So if you should cross paths again, be sure to leave her broken. You will not get another chance. There's likely not a soul aboard this ship without secrets they'd rather keep hidden. Why should I face more scrutiny than the rest?
He proffers out his hands with a diplomatic smile.
You do me a disservice. These are the hands of a craftsman, a healer. All I seek is progress and enlightenment. We're barely acquainted. Why should I tell you anything personal?
A flicker of hesitation crosses Tarquin's face. He glances down to his wasted limbs.
You're most persistent. Perhaps our past will pit us both against the hammer. We will see. But don't claim me as an ally just yet. My allies tend to die. No! This piece is far beyond what those wretches could muster. This is something of my own design, to meet my own requirements. The Magisters left me weakened, but this will help give me the strength to carry on my work. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were taking a shot.
I've spotted something.
I'm a monster. I click and clack as I stalk my prey. My tail rattles like a snake's. I suffer. Mumsy? Is she here? Mumsy, where are you? 'Tis I, Booply Bear. I am quite changed, but don't be frightened. There is no shame in being ridiculous in the name of love. Fie! Hear this feline's lament, O immortal gods, I am so wretched. And what is a Booply Bear without his sweet Mumsy? I say he is nothing. Don't touch me, my very being is a curse. Was Tarquin that wretch, that rat? I ate an ill mouse and passed in my sleep, and the brooding boar brought me back on a lark. Me miserable. No, 'Tis ignoble to wish for death, but ask it from another's hand. Mumsy, you! She sent you!
The cat begins to purr and rub itself on your ankles.
Any friend to Mumsy is a friend to me. I believe the song is around here somewhere. Oh, I don't know. In the direction of over there. As I said, not Mumsy. You'll need the song for that. The song, of course. Trouble not my weary mind with duncery.
The cat purrs, an eerie clicking sound.
Tell Mumsy to come back soon. Now that I am but bone, I'm too light to trip the moving door. I'm sure there's a rat back there.
I've spotted something.
And you thought Rivellon was flat.
A pyramid? What on Rivellon is this for?
Only one way to find out. Try using it.
What script is this? Whatever it is, it appears to be written in verse.
For security reasons, please keep this door closed.
Guards or victims?
Both, I fear. Another pyramid.
I didn't know any better. I have nothing to say to you. Think twice in future before you urge violence against others. I'm glad you decided to put that moment of doubt behind you. The last thing we need here is more... I have nothing to say to you. Think twice in future before you urge violence against others.
The armor set is complete.
I have nothing to say to you. Think twice in future before you urge violence against others.
Nothing. Damn it.
Looking for... I know it when I see it.
Nothing. Damn it.
There you are. I was just thinking of you. Indeed? Excellent. You've shown some ingenuity. Now show me more, and search every corner of those quarters. There must be a way to control this ship tucked away somewhere. Naughty lizards. Then I suppose that rune on the figurehead was a slave scar. This tome must be the song that controls it. Well done. Go on then. Sing it to the figurehead and get her to sail.
Her eyes suddenly flash a bright red.
Please spare me. If you want me to spare, we need to move. Don't mistake me, Godwoken. The Order is coming, and they're coming for you. Sing the song, take control of the ship, or die. Time to sing. Time to sing, Godwoken. Now.
What did I do to deserve that?
May the fallen rest easy in the hall.
Gareth stumbles backwards. His words pierce you like daggers.
Whatever's on that page is none of your concern. Let the dead rest. If only you were as concerned with getting this ship moving as you are with the past, we might be in driftwood by now.
Getting it done. From hell or high water. Likely both, eh?
Look ahead, Godwoken. Look ahead, Godwoken. There's only so much the past can teach us.
Missing hat, natty beard, vessel adrift. It's a sea captain's worst nightmare it is. Look, I don't know how to ask you this, but you all right up there?
He punctuates his point by rapping his own head a few times.
We get this tub moving. I mean, what else would we do, mate?
He notes your gaping mouth and slaps you on the back with a guffaw.
You hoping to catch some flies in that maw of yours? I'm joshing you. If you're going to have an adventure, you need to get used to some ribbon, friend. Because let me tell you, if you're not laughing, you're dying.
A moment's pause. What use Fort Joy...
Hey, stranger. Glad to see you. No reds in the offing yet. Don't imagine they'll stay.
Be careful around the figurehead, Godwoken.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. There's an odd mark on the side of the figurehead. Battle damage, weather staining. It almost looks like a pattern, however. The deck beneath you groans and trembles, like the ship itself is awaking from a slumber. A deep sigh emerges, unmistakably the sound of a living being.
You are not the witch. You are not Dallas. You sang the song. Now you must decide my fate. Are you to be my new mistress? Ask. I am here to serve in all ways.
The bow of the ship creaks downwards on the swell of the ocean. In the breeze above you, the faintest hint of what might have been a melancholy sigh.
Once, I was an elf. I passed away and was reborn as an ancestor tree in a beautiful forest surrounded by kin of both flesh and root. But that time has passed. I saw that forest reduced to a dead place. Then I was taken away. My memories were lost, like the leaves from my branches.
The sails overhead billow outwards suddenly. The sun is blocked, momentarily casting the dragon figurehead into shadow.
Majesties, they razed sacred elven lands and uprooted ancestor trees from the earth. I was one of them. They tore me apart and turned me into this monstrosity.
The creaking of the ship beneath you ceases, as if it were awaiting your decision with bated breath.
You are kind, but I can never be free again. Not truly. I am a vessel and must be guided. Let me take you wherever you wish. We can depart as soon as you are ready.
The ship's awake. Good. Is she ready to sail? Dying to hear them. Meister Siva is one of... We'd better not leave her waiting. A place called You'll probably find... Well, what?
A slow, toothless smile stretches across her face.
To Driftwood, then. If you must, but do hurry.
Our sacred ancestor trees, turned into the slaves of warmongers. You did it. You spoke to it. Blessings to you, sorcerer. Now we can escape this place.
The sea awakes. There is much to discover.
Turned into the slaves of warmongers.
It's good to be on the open.
Are you certain you want to dismiss your companion? He grunts
There is
What use for...
We have to put this island behind us.
I'll be damned to the void, but it looks like the Lady Vengeance has life in her. Malady's raring to go, and I can't say I'm keen to keep floating to nowhere. Let's move!
Turned into the slaves of warmongers.
I keep expecting to see Magisters on the horizon. If this thing is capable, I keep expecting...
There's no time to spare.
Are you ready to join?
Our sacred ancestor trees, turned into the slaves of warmongers.
Tick-tock, Godwoken. It most certainly is. Forward.
With the sun on their backs and the wind in their sails, the Godwoken watched for...
This is my ship. I won't see it taken from under my feet. You, act!
Oh, for the love of the void. Listen up. We can't win this one, but I can get us to safety. You'll need to buy me time. Show us what you can do, Godwoken.
Godwoken? Parasites, rather.
I'll take care of it, mistress.
Stop that elf! Her sorcery must be silenced!
take me again, Dallas.
help! Almost there. A little longer.
I'm ready.
With the help of the half-demon Malady, the Godwoken escaped through the veil that separates life from death.
The air here has a familiar smell, like the place you grew up. Old memories begin to well within you, but the sweet sour smell of decay suddenly punctures them. A faint creaking sounds in the distance.
Is that a tree? What's hanging from it? Must be a way across. Rallic, the gods. Are they dead? How can this be?
Rallic hangs limp from the tree, cursed branches constricting him, snake-like from foot to shoulders. His helmeted head hangs slack at his side, but a barely audible wheeze rasps from his lips.
Hurry!
Rallic hangs limp, his
Hurry!
ever-tightening cursed branches constrict the great dwarven god Duna. His eyelids flutter, and his face, bluish and bloated, nods. Amadia hangs before you, her face cut and bruised, her chest barely moving. You think you see a tear run down her cheek. You lean in. That's no tear. It's sauce. The shimmering liquid is seeping from her wounds and dripping to the ground below her. Before you hangs a great ethereal orc, his face twisted in a knot of pain as cursed tendrils constrict him. A small, stout imp winces under the countless cursed threads that bind her. Tight coils wrap Tyr Sendelius from head to foot. His still face is set to a glowering sneer. Cursed tendrils tighten around Zorstissa. Her lips are moving, but no words seem able to escape her lips. As the cursed branches slither away from Rallic, he raises his head. Green eyes glint with sudden fire from behind his helmet.
Are we the first? The others, do they hang still upon the tree?
He strains at the ethereal ropes that bind him, resisting their grip.
You must make haste. I am bound, but not defeated. Not yet. True might is not what one defeats, but what one withstands. Do not forget yourself. You are still my champion, my chosen. I have survived our enemies. You must do more than that. The fate of all humanity hangs in the balance. You would turn away from them? It is. But I chose you because I knew you could bear it. I am not mistaken. You cannot comprehend what it is, but you know full well what it wants. The void will not stop until it has devoured us all. It thinks it has defeated me, defeated all the gods. But it underestimates human might. Your might.
His eyes flash bright green. He struggles against his binds, to no avail.
You will show it. You will show them all. You have already unleashed some of the powers locked within you. But there is a great well of possibilities still untapped. You cannot stop until you ascend to the highest heights of your power. You cannot stop until you become divine.
He opens his mouth to respond, but stops and tilts his head, listening for something you cannot detect.
I hear the void. I hear it calling. I hear it laughing. It's coming. It's here. If it finds you here, if it finds you.
Ralik's face twists in fear. He opens his mouth as if to scream, but no sound comes out. White-hot cold pierces your heart like a blade. You are frozen to the spot. The burning cold pumps through you like a curse, and then...
What's happened here? Where is everyone?
The same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled, strung up as a warning.
The void has been pushed back before by the power of mortals. The gods couldn't handle it. But maybe we can.
I've got my weapon. I've got my wits. And now, I've got a new enemy. If the void wants me, well, I say let it come. I'm ready.
What can yet be blessed, can yet be restored. One way or another, Divinity will survive. Through all of you, and all of me.
Well, that was certainly... Set sail for Driftwood, I reckon.
He grunts.
Speak if you wish to.
I've been sailing for a long time, but I don't know I've ever seen so much drama. Not in all my years. Hooking up with your crew's been nothing if not eventful. We sail, lass. Duna willing. I don't know. I've never been one for worshipping. I always figured if Duna really existed, he'd show himself. I mean, am I really supposed to ask some invisible dwarf in the sky to grant world peace? Or give me a pony? Nah, it sounded like a waste of time to me. But, then he showed himself. He said he could help me free our people, if I helped him. And I left with more questions than when I started.
Speak if you wish to. What I have seen is a cautionary tale. The world needs a divine, I grant you that, but look at what a god may be reduced to. A soul aquiver with fear. Lost, alone, and forsaken. What use for...
Mandy's gone. Maybe she can get me out. Where is everybody?
Hidden away somewhere. Safe from the storm, I hope.
Not a soul down here. Just stillness.
It's so cold. I haven't felt cold in centuries. What happened? I just remember... Oh no. No, that can't be right. This is wonderful. What a fascinating experience. And I will be able to spend eternity studying you creatures. No more having to watch from the shadows. No more having to walk mysterious social tightropes.
The skeleton pulls a notebook from the folds of his robes and starts scribbling. As you walk away, you hear him muttering about Observations on the Mortal Races, Volume 1. Thane is busy scribbling in his
Your eyes brim with...
The Red Prince's spirit stands bewildered, his spectral eyes beleaguered by disbelief.
Defeat? I have been defeated. Impossible. Impossible. No. Such is but a different truth. Even here I hear the voices of destiny whisper. I will have my empire yet. I will have my empire yet. I will not fade. The sun shall find me. She will set her loved one free.
I still hear it. It's still there. It'll never leave me alone. It'll never leave me alone.
She clenches her ghostly fists and sets her jaw.
Find it. Destroy it. Make it leave me be.
I will not fade. She will...
I still hear it.
She clenches her ghostly...
Find it.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. There's no time. I can't hold us here. Brace yourself. This might hurt. A lot.
The chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once, and bright sunlight stings your eyes. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance. A gust of fresh sea air caresses you, and warm sunshine prickles your skin.
One moment, please. Oh, just a moment.
Malady explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Better. Let's not do that again anytime soon, Well, we needed to escape, didn't we? So I took us the one place I was quite certain Dallas couldn't follow. I suppose you recognized the Hall of Echoes from those visions you'd had before. Realm of the dead, realm of divinity. I do hope you learned something useful on our little field trip. Desperate how? I see. So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Oh, what confidence you inspire. Luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither seesaws nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these oh-so-fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meister. As have I, but not in the ways a true godwoken can. Forget those ghastly little jars and wands to which small people must resort. You ought to be able to see and speak to the spirits that wander our realm, and you ought to be able to extract the source they leave behind, too. All this just by your little old onesie. No devices, no gimmicks. When you're done, you'll be able to amass and unleash quantities of source so great that Lucian himself would blush. I quite look forward to seeing it. Yes, well, I've got more on my mind than shuttling you from hill to dale. But even I recognize the power of priorities, darling. If you can't be bothered to visit the Meister, I'd recommend you deign to visit other powerful sorcerers on your travels. You need to learn everything they can teach you if you're going to do what needs to be done. And make no mistake, Godwoken, this needs to be done. Now, I must be going, and so must you. Shopping. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. Won't that be terribly fun? Before you go, if I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me, but I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.
Well now, how's my favorite Godwoken?
Ivan smiled.
is everybody?
Hidden away somewhere. Safe from the storm.
Not a soul down here. Just stillness.
The Red Prince's defeat.
I have impossible. No, I will not.
It's so cold. What happened? This wonder. What a no more.
The skeleton. Thane is
Still here.
She clenches.
Find it.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. There's no Bracius a lot.
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls as your eye. Malady.
Let's not. Well, we needed to. I suppose. Desperate how? So.
She inspected.
Did they mention? Luckily, we already know. I may not. You need to go see them. When you're done. I quite look forward to. Give me your map. There you are. You're at the beginning of it. Now. I must be going. What? Shopping. Before you. And.
Alexander is gone. But I don't think we've seen the last of him. You got that right. More importantly, no corpse, no contract. But more than the contract, I've got questions about what really happened during the war. And I'm not going to let him die until he answers them.
He raises one hand to shield the sun from his eyes and scans the horizon intently.
As far as tracking him down is concerned, right now we're headed for Driftwood. And last I heard, my old pack were camped out near there. If anyone will know who put the contract on Godwoken, it'll be Roost. Well now, how's my favorite? Let's track down my old pack and find out who's behind the contracts to kill Godwoken. Can't hurt to know who wants us dead.
Ifan smirks and shakes his head.
I'll spare you the tall tales we usually tell. When a new cub joins up with the lone wolves, we interrogate them. Then, a very complex equation decides their new moniker. I don't remember all the questions, but I remember enough to give you a lone wolf name if you want one. So tell me this, which of these scenes attracts you the most?
Ifan nods and raises his eyebrows, a slight smile brightening his face.
And then, target in sight? What's your preferred execution method? Right.
Ifan scrawls something on a little piece of paper and hands it to you. On the page, in thick black letters, is written Velvet Feather.
Not as pant-wettingly fearsome as Silverclaw, but not bad. Not bad at all.
Ifan smiles and salutes at you.
Well now, how's my...
Ifan smiles.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice in the matter. Besides, there's business to take care of. Malady said this Meister lady's the key, so we follow her lead.
Beast pauses for a moment to consider whether he's forgotten anything important.
I'd also appreciate it if we dealt with this Lohar fella. He's the key to unlocking this mess Justinia's made. I'll stop this Operation Downfall of hers, all right. And finding Lohar in these parts and dealing with him is the first step in doing just that. Not much of a landlubber, but some... Malady said...
Beast.
I'd also appreciate...
A vast continent full of people, full of destinies. Ha! A tale of cloaks and daggers and daredevilry. Are you up for it? Wonderful.
She bows with thespian flair.
Imagine a black room. It's been your room for years. You know it by touch more than sight, for it's always dark. And when I say always dark, I mean always dark. You're either in the room or in the box, for it's in the box that you travel. You're only let out at night, because you only hunt in the night, with the Master's voice in your ears urging you on. And after it's done, you lie down in the box once more, with wet hands and mad red thoughts. Sometimes it's best to let sleeping questions lie. The thing is, the box didn't break me, though I confess it taught me to hate. One night, I killed a scholar. With my needle through his fragile old skull, he fell headfirst upon his writing desk, blood mingling with spilt ink. It's when I saw the ink that timid thoughts of rebellion first bloomed. Back in my dark room, I dipped my needle that killed the scholar in his own ink, and engraved his name in my skin. I'd remember him. I'd honor him with vengeance. His name was the first, but many more followed. Of course.
She bares her left arm and shows you the name. You softly run your finger across it.
Mindarin. He was Turashar, a keeper of stories. I'm sure he was loved by many. People like him, the beloved dead, they kept me going. Then, one day, it happened. A gush of wind, a sliver of light. Light! I hardly knew it for what it was. A simple oversight that comes with habit. A door, left slightly ajar. That was all I needed to feel a rush of blood, a thirst for liberation like never before. I tore at the shackles that kept me chained to the floor, iron thick as a smith's wrists. Of course they wouldn't budge, they never did before. But now that I saw the light, something welled up inside me, a raw and undeniable burst of power. The shackles broke, and next thing I knew, I was free. I stood alone outside the ruins of a fortress, snow-capped peaks all around me. But the sun, oh, the sun. I had risen as if from the grave, and she kissed me back to life. Ain't over yet, honey. I was given my needle by the master. Guess I'm just sentimental like that. Fine, if it means that much to you.
She draws her needle and holds it up between thumb and index finger.
Go on. Ever so gently touch the tip.
Barely have you touched the needle's pinpoint surface when a thick droplet of blood wells up from your fingertip.
Sharp little minx, isn't she? Sibyl, this needle was forged in an altogether different world. It wasn't wrought upon a crude anvil hammered into shape with rough blows. No, it was cast with demon precision. It is absolutely priceless, and it's yours. The master's own words. And he was right. As an instrument of assassination, it's absolutely priceless. But one day soon, he'll find out just how much he overspent on his gifts for little old me. Just why this needle is a girl's best friend. One might say I'm a bit of a sucker for poetic justice. Didn't you hear, Melody? We're off to find the Meister. And the Master. As such, my first priority remains to find Roost. He is the pawn that will eventually topple the king.